control. You can turn this board much more because you are strapped to it. This is the regular one, and I am 110 kilo. She's really nice, you know, very springy. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Pavel here again, and today we're going to talk about something you've been asking me for a while now. So, bindings or no bindings? For people who are new to electrical skateboarding, I will explain what the bindings are. It comes actually from the word to bind. Bindings is something that's going to bind you to your board. So for starters, let me tell you there are a few different types of bindings. There are bindings as, for instance, mostly used MBS bindings, nice and soft padded bindings. They can be used as half binding, so just the part that goes over your foot only, the front of your foot. You can use them as a full binding, which is the front part that goes over the front of the foot, and the heel strap. That's what's gonna go around your heel, making it a full brace that will strap your foot down to the deck to become one. As I mentioned guys, the MBS bindings are preferred bindings for any DIY out there at the moment, until someone comes up with something similar or better. Pure reason is the quality. They're softer, so they don't cut into your foot. They got really nice pad. Have a look right here. I'll be showing some slides. Nice little pad right there to soften the contact between your foot and the binding itself. Also got some channels through the binding that you can use to feed your cables if you got the battery box on the top of your deck. So yeah, they're quite nice. You got bindings by Tramper, for instance. They're a bit cheaper. They do the job as well. However, they're not as padded, and well, but you might be getting along with them quite well. Why not? They got different colors and all that stuff. Another interesting one is the freeboard binding. Well, freeboard binding is something I haven't used yet. I've got a set, but I never got to use it. I don't know why. So it's pretty much like a hook. It goes on your deck and your foot goes under. So you kind of have a bit of more control over your deck, I guess, when you're trying to lift it off the ground. But that's it. So it is quite common as well. People do use them, but that's pretty much the overview. In the front of you is my test board, guys. It's a beautiful board. Have a look. So I've put it together with the parts that were sent to me for review, and she is at this stage at the moment. So next step is to install the bindings, because I have tested this board yesterday on road. She's nice, but due to the deck being so wide and long, I think she needs some bindings for better control. So let's talk about the differences of the decks and why would you want bindings, pluses and minuses, and we're also going to have a look at some a bit of testing in my backyard of the decks with bindings and without bindings, so I can show you clearly what benefits are. In the end, guys, it all comes down to the deck you're using for your board. So in the front of you is your longboard deck, and if the deck is quite narrow, so your foot actually overhangs the deck front and bottom, you got this power to turn on the board, turn on the deck, press on it, and have a nice little turn into the corner. If your deck is much wider, like most of the mountain board decks are, like this one here is 260 millimeters wide, your foot doesn't have the same power input onto the edges of the deck to turn, and this is where you want to bind yourself with the deck, because you will have much more control. The negatives of having bindings: you are one with your board. If you fall with the board. If you've fallen at high speed and the board is dragging on the ground, you're dragging with it. The board potentially could catch the ground and start twisting and turning. It will take your feet and legs with it, twisting your joints, breaking your bones and all that. I know, sounds horrible. However, let's listen. Just stay with me. So what else is negative about bindings? It's pain in the butt to get in and get out into the bindings. So you get into the bindings, you have to get your feet in there, strap them in, not too tight, not too loose. Sometimes you overdo it by one click, and then you're riding and it's like, oh, it's really hurting me. You have to stop and loosen it up. So it's always hit and miss every time you ride until you like really get it spot on and ride every day and you know it's 3 clicks or 4. So that's negative as well. Getting off the board is the same thing. So if you're going like commuting and you need to stop a lot and you have to pop into the shop and get off the board, get on the board and whatever not, then it's obviously easier without the bindings, because you can just come off the board without the bindings, get on the board without the bindings and just go. With the bindings, well, obviously cost, because they do cost money. They're about, I don't know, I forgot how much I paid for MBSs actually. Something around $150, maybe $200, something like that. So that's the additional cost. What are the positive parts about having the bindings? And guys, stay with me because I'm going to show you actual realistic tests of all the stuff I'm talking to you about right now. So if you are performing some sort of stunt or jump or even slight jump on the curb or off the curb or whatever not, on the board, and your board can do it, you are best off with the bindings, because you are one with your board, with your deck. So if you jump, she jumps with you. If you turn, she turns with you. Control over your deck and how hard you can press on the deck to turn is insane. You pretty much can turn it as hard that your other side of the board will actually lift off the ground. And I was always a believer, I don't want to strap myself in the board, but now I kind of do like being strapped in the board. I got much more control. I know that if I overdone it on the throttle and the board started to go, my foot will not slide off the deck. My foot will control the board. I can press down on it. I can control the motion of the deck, so I will not fall off. My personal belief is you either go with no bindings, no half bindings, none of that at all, just the deck, motors and the battery, or if you go with bindings or anything that puts it together with the board, you go full bindings. That means the binding over the foot and binding over the heel. What you don't want to happen is one of your feet coming off or coming out of the bindings, one staying there, especially when you have an accident, and the board taking one of your legs together with it, the other one free, jumping about. It will twist it, break it, whatever not. If you are binded to the deck, your feet stay together, your legs stay straight, they'll be twisting together. You got more chances not to get hurt as much. Have a look at the difference between the board, which will be this board right here, with no bindings, or this beautiful DIY board with full bindings. The heel straps and the foot binding. So here we go, let's have a look. Okay, so this is my test board, and we're going to use this board to explain to you guys the difference or the need for the bindings for certain decks and certain riding styles. Now, this is the deck by Ram Boards. She's really wide. Bear in mind I'm size 11.5 and my foot just slightly hangs over it, so it's a really wide deck. So what happens when you are on this deck and you're trying to turn? Don't get me wrong, this deck can be used without bindings, that's no problem whatsoever, and I've been riding this deck with this setup, as you can see over here, and you can turn, as you can see, wheels turning okay. However, if you are going to turn really hard, let's say to my right, so that's pressing on my heels, it's a bit easier because you got that power of pressing on it. But when you are turning left and you want to press down on the deck, on the edge of it, with your toes or your well, fingers, toes, fingers, whatever, your foot fingers, then what happens is your heels come up. So, and you're trying really hard to balance as well, and bear in mind you're going in the speed, so you're going backwards, you can press down with the heels, that's no problem, really get this turn done. But going forward, your heels want to come off the deck, and that's what makes it really complicated, because you losing your balance. And instead of losing balance and concentrating on the balance, you want to, you know, trying to actually look at the road, look at the traffic or whatever, or obstacles coming at you. And obviously, needless to say, that if you are trying to jump something, doesn't have to be really high, doesn't matter what it is, this is you jumping on a board without the bindings. By the way, Ram's boards deck, this is the regular one, and I am 110 kilo. She's really nice, you know, very springy, beautiful. Okay, so now it's time to have a look at my other board, which is fully DIY built, custom built, custom everything you can imagine board, and she does have bindings. As I said, bindings are these funny things fixed to your deck, which will fix your feet into the board. So what you do is you slide your feet into the one part of it first. This is the part right here. You can loosen them up if you need to. Then you put the heel over your foot, just like that, and you ratchet it down. So you are now fully binded to your deck. Well, this is where the word comes in, I guess, the bindings. So you are now binded to your deck. So number one benefit, guys, is you can control the deck and the board much easier. You are one with the board. If you are jumping with the board, she will jump with you. As easy as that. You can turn the front if you want to. As easy as that. You won't be able to do this without the bindings. So let's have a look, guys, when you're trying to turn, what happens to your feet. When you are turning to my right, so this side right here, so I'm pressing on my heels, it's almost the same as the board without the bindings. But now with the bindings, I can go even more. I can go further to the point of lifting the wheels. You won't be able to do that without bindings. Now let's take a look what the heels do. So now imagine you have to turn the other way around, and at this point right here, your heels will come up off the deck. Here, you got much more control. You can turn this board much more because you are strapped to it. You can go no more than what I'm doing right now, otherwise it's lifting off the floor. So that's the front view. I'm turning left, and now I'm turning right. The negative part is, guys, if you are falling. So if you're falling, you are falling together with the board because your feet are tied up to it. Now trying to get up sometimes is quite challenging. Especially for unfit middle-aged man like me. But anyway, we're up now. One benefit as well with bindings, I believe, is your feet are tight. They will stay in this position if you fall over. Your feet is not going to go left, right, center, everywhere else. So this is the full bindings, and this is my preference. No bindings or full bindings. And in case if you're wondering, guys, yes, the test board is getting the bindings, so next time you see me with some sort of review, that board will have bindings. She needs them. She will be much better with them off-road or whatever not. Now, I really hope you liked this video, guys. If you have any questions at all or any comments, let me know in the comments below. I will always reply, and have a look at some other videos I've got, guys, on my channel. I think I pretty much covered everything that got to do with electric skateboarding out there. If not, let me know and I will cover it. build safely, ride safely, and as always, I catch you very soon.